Hey, Barb here with barbstamps.com, and I am having some issues with the old iPad. So I'm not really sure if I'm going to be able to see your comments or not today because this dumb thing does not want to load. Technology can be a real pain in the rear end sometimes, can't it? Well, I see some of you guys are popping on here, so hello to all of you. Let's see. Oh, yeah, some of you guys are having some horrible, horrible weather. We are actually not. It was really, really cold, like, 40 below here 4 or 5 days ago, but it's gotten a lot better, and we don't have any ice. I don't think we've ever had an ice storm that I know about in the entire time that I have lived in Wyoming and Montana. Which has been since I was 9 years old. I lived in Montana. I moved there when I was 9, and then I moved here to Wyoming in 2000. 2000 is when I moved down here. And so, yeah, I just don't. Yikes, that's just terrible. Why does technology have to be such a bummer half the time, you guys? Seriously, come on. All I want to do is watch on my iPad so I can see the comments a lot easier. It's really difficult to like scroll through the phone to see what the comments are. If I can use my YouTube app, then they're just like sitting there on the side of the little iPad. And technology is such a pain in the rear end. I'm gonna try doing it a different way. I'm going to try to access it from my business page rather than my own page here. So we'll try this again. Let's see. Oh yeah, you guys, oh boy, I am so glad that some of you are not in the horrible thing, and I am so sorry for those of you that are in that horrible mess because ice is just the worst. And I don't know. Maybe this thing will end up working. Maybe it won't, and I'll just have to look at the comments on my phone, which is difficult. But we'll make it work because we always do. So let me think if I have anything exciting to say. I don't think so. I think I told you guys a couple weeks ago, I got a tooth pulled out. It's still kind of bothering me a little bit. I think I got a dry socket. I've had a dry socket before. This one was not nearly as painful. I mean, it was annoying, but not super painful. But all of a sudden now I've noticed that my eye is really red. And I don't know if I got maybe I'm trying some new eye cream because I've got these horrendous bags and yucky wrinkly skin under my eyes, and I really hate it. Yes, I can be a little bit vain sometimes, I want to look my best when I go places and when I do these live things. And these under eye, whatever is going on there, I hate it. I hate it a lot. And I've tried a lot of different eye creams. I've tried a lot of different concealer type products. Every single concealer I've tried makes them look worse than they do with nothing on. So I guess I'm struggling here with the over 55 crowd. However, I get senior discount somewhere, so that's a win. A win. So anyway, yeah, I know you guys probably don't even care, but yeah. Okay, so I think, I guess the only fun things, not really fun for me, but fun for my son, he got his permanent crowns on his 2 front teeth. So that 6-month nightmare is over, finally. A very expensive nightmare, might I add. But the teeth look good, and hopefully they will last him a while. So we're finally done with that. There you go. Oh my gosh, Sherry, you're so sweet. Sherry says I'm beautiful. That's so sweet. And it's not that I think I look terrible, but you know how there's always those things about yourself that when like you look in the mirror, those are the things that you notice about yourself. Like we're all self-conscious about something, I would imagine. And when we look in the mirror, that's the thing we see. When I look in the mirror, these under my eyes, that's what I see. So it is what it is. Anyway, that's all I have. There is no more. Oh, I guess there's one more funny little story. It's mostly my fault, not my son and my husband. They went snowmobiling on Monday because my son came home from work early because it was very cold and he could not work, and my husband was off. So they decided to go snowmobiling again because I think I've mentioned before my husband had his snowmobile engine rebuilt, and you have to ride it. They told him 2 full tanks of gas, riding, just kind of slow, careful, not really full throttle, going up mountains and stuff. And so he's really trying to, get through these 2 tanks of gas. So they decided to go up on Monday. Well, it was getting really late and it was dark, and they weren't even that far from home. I mean, they can get to the mountain literally in like 10 minutes from our house. You just drive down the road, you go up, and you're at the mountain, you can snowmobile. We're very close to the mountains. And so it was getting late, and I know them. They're not out there after dark, being stupid and careless. They're very mindful of what's going on. And of course, in the dark, you can't see and it's dangerous. So anyways, I was getting kind of concerned. So I called one of my husband's associates. Those of you that don't know, he works in law enforcement. And I asked the guy, I said, is there any way that one of you guys could run up to the snowmobile parking areas and see if they're there? He says, yeah, I can do that. Because I had tried to call my son, but he didn't answer. And so I didn't know if he was like in a spot where he couldn't answer, if he'd lost his phone. I mean, I didn't know. At this point, things are going through my mind like, nah, there's just something wrong here. So I send this guy up there, and in the meantime, I try to call again. And he answers, and he's like, we're almost home. I'm like, okay. So I call this guy. I said, thank you very much for being willing to go up there and check it out for me, but they're fine and they're on their way home. He said, okay, no problem. So they get home. They got stuck in the parking lot. It had snowed over the weekend, and the groomer had gone up to groom the trails, but the plow hadn't come in to plow out the parking lot. So my husband saw the grooming tracks. In his mind, for whatever reason, he thought they were the plowing tracks. And so when he pulled into the parking lot, they got stuck because they sunk into like a foot of snow. So they ended up trying, they went out, they did this snowmobiling, they came back and they tried to get the truck out. They tried everything. Finally, they had to put the chains on in order to get out. So there you go. Silly boys. So they weren't injured. Nothing wrong happened. And they came home and everything was fine. So there. I should have known, but I got a little concerned and I was like, oh, geez. Anyhow. Okay, guys, I'm going to flip my camera and my iPad is still not working. So I don't know what in the world's going on with that dumb thing. So I'm just going to flip my phone and we'll try to do the comments through the phone. Hopefully I see them. If you guys need anything or need me to clarify something or whatever. If I don't answer your question right away, give me a few minutes because I'll try to go back and, hit the phone and see, because YouTube comments on the phone are a little bit different than they are like on the iPad, because on the iPad, they're just always there. They're just always sitting there and then you can just look at them. But on the phone, it's like I have to bring them back up because it's like you'll comment and it'll kind of slide across on the phone and then it disappears. And so then I can't see it anymore. So then I have to, anyway, it's just different. So now I'm going to have to not do what I normally do, which doesn't make me very happy. I like things to work the way they're supposed to work. Okay. All right, ladies and gentlemen, if there are any gentlemen on this live tonight, I hope so. Guys can stamp too. Okay, I'm going to put that away. So in case you aren't aware, we have new things added to Celebration. So there you go. There are 10 new items added. There are some at the $50 level. Most of them are at the $50 level. And then there is one $100 level. I have some of the things, not all of them. I don't have either of these kits. These are part of our kits collection, and I don't have these. They are very cute. You can just go, I believe, to the online store, barbstamps.com, or no, shoppingwithbarb.com. And then you can click on sales and specials and then celebration, and then the items will pop up that you can choose from. But I don't have the kits, but I think I have everything else. So one of the options is this fantastic ribbon. This is the white frayed ribbon, and you get 2 rolls of this if you choose this. So be aware of that you'll get 2 rolls of this. So that's one of your options. Another option is the essential tag punch. So you can sort of see this interesting shape here. I like it. We've got the Songbird Builder Punch, which of course goes with the Sweet Songbirds stamp set. And we're going to make a cute card with that today. We have the Essential, no, let's just go in order. Come on, Barb. We have the Into the Clouds embossing folder. This is a standard embossing folder, and it does this sort of pattern here on your cardstock. Pretty cool. We, in fact, just used this in our Adorable Owls class last month. Then we have the Hive embossing folder. This is a 3D folder, and so this one is also available as an option for your $50 order. We have the Loveliest Layers decorative masks. And I have these, and I haven't used them yet, but I really need to do it. If you guys have any of our decorative masks, I highly recommend using some pixie spray with them. It's a little spray-on adhesive that you can put on the back of the masks, and then they will stay stuck to your paper so that you don't have to worry about the paper or the mask moving around on you. And now you can get the pixie spray off of your masks if you want to with some soap and water. I don't care. I would just assume it be on there, then I don't have to spray it every time. So, but this particular mask here, these masks, this is a set of 4, actually 5, but this is a background. There are 4, and you can see that what they do is they build a flower. So we have like a detailed piece, and then we have the large bold piece. So these would go over the top of each other. Maybe I need to put these on top of a piece of cardstock or something. What do we have? How about some Tahitian Tide? That's a fantastic color. So you can see that you would then have you'd have your large flower, and then you'd have some detail piece in there. Then we also have a detail piece of the leaves. So you can see here, we have the detail coming out of that. And then we have the bold part. So as you can see, you'll end up making like a four pieces to make one large, beautiful flower. So I need to really check these out now. I've had them for, well, I guess not that long. I bought them, I think in the middle of January is when I bought them. So I do need to get them out and use them. They look pretty cool. Okay. Then we have the Enjoy the Journey Designer Series paper. And that is currently in our January to April mini catalog. And look at these fantastic patterns. I really like patterns like this, kind of like when we have our nice floral patterns, because you don't really have to do anything. You could just stamp a sentiment on here, layer this on a piece of Melon Mambo cardstock, and mail it to someone. I mean, they make such simple cards, and the colors are just stunning. And then, of course, there's some other patterns on the opposite sides that you could use for background images, little strips, here and there for things. So this is pretty cool. So this is also a new choice for Celebration, which that's kind of a little bit odd. They don't usually, and in fact, these also came out of that January to April mini catalog. They don't usually give us options of stuff that's pretty new, which I think is fairly cool. So I'm excited about that. And then finally, with a $100 order, you can pick the Eden's Garden bundle if you don't already have this. So there's a lot of nice detail frame type pieces in here. There's a really cool edge border piece that actually puts this nice dotted image into the cardstock as well. Really cool. Do I have the dies in here or what they do? Oh, I might. Look at me. Who knew? Okay, so here's that border piece I was just talking about. So you can see it gives you that fun little dotted image, and then it cuts that beautiful foliage border there. Then we have this large frame piece. This is kind of a little sentiment strip. And then we have this little guy here. Okay, so that is the Eden's Garden bundle. So those are all brand new. Oh, and then this little guy. I forgot about him. He's really cute. I actually used him the most out of all the dies. That and the border strip. Okay. So if you're placing orders in my online store, shoppingwithbarb.com, those are some new items you can pick during Celebration right now through the end of February. And I think these items are probably while supplies last. So that would be my guess. Okay. Let me move on. Speaking of Celebration, if you guys are not demonstrators, but you want to be, then you should. And what you should do is sign up with me because I'm amazing and I'm a lot of fun and I have a great team and we're kind of spread around the country and we do our monthly team meeting via Zoom so anybody can participate. We have a monthly team swap also. And we have a Facebook group and we have a weekly training if you're interested in that with Kelly and Dina's teams as well. Once you've placed your first order as a demonstrator on my team, then you get a basic subscription to the one and only Stamp Happy Academy website. You guys know all about this. I talk about it every week. It's amazing. And we're actually getting ready to do an open house next weekend. So not tomorrow, Saturday, Sunday, but the following Friday, Saturday, Sunday, we're going to be doing an open house. We'll be doing kind of a like open house kickoff type thing on Wednesday of next week on our Stamp Happy Academy business page. So if you want to check that out, just go to, type Stamp Happy Academy into the search line on Facebook. And the group that we'll use is the three of us eating ice cream cones. That's our little avatar, our little circle avatar is the three of us eating ice cream cones downtown here in Sheridan. So we're going to be doing an open house next week. So be sure to check that out. And that is like I said, if you're a member of my team, that's a free perk for you. So that's a great reason to be a member of my team. Plus, then you would get all of my online class PDFs for free as a member of Stamp Happy Academy. So, and if you join as a demonstrator with me right now, you can get your choice of the blue Baby Boss or the white Baby Boss for an additional $30 in your starter kit. So rather than paying $99, you'd pay $129. You'd get $175 worth of product and the Baby Boss, blue or white, your choice. So best time to become a demonstrator right now during celebration when you can get lots of good stuff for free. Okay, I have to give myself a shout out, you guys. Not recently, about 6 months ago, I changed blogging platforms. My blog is barbstamps.com and I changed blogging platforms and I had everything transferred over and I've had to learn a brand new system and it's been a struggle, but we're getting there. And then I've also just added a class kit and PDF store to my website, which is very exciting. So you guys can go to barbstamps.com/shop. And I'm having a sale right now on some of my older classes, and you can get those for a really good price. I'm having the sale through February 11th. So yeah, I would love it if you'd check it out. The PDFs are instantly downloadable. So once you buy the PDF, you get to download it right away, which is really cool. So check that out. If there's a lot of different things on there that might interest you. Some of them might not interest you, who knows, but check it out for me. If there's something that you like and have to have, I've got PDFs starting at $6 on the site. So that's pretty cheap. So check it out. Again, barbstamps.com/shop. All right. My class to go for the month of February is the Playing in the Rain bundle. That is so cute. That's the little fox and the turtle and the little bunny. Oh my gosh, so cute. With the coordinating paper, we've got some blue gems, some Flirty Flamingo ribbon, the raindrops folder, and then we've got some different papers, some pink glimmer paper, the DSP, some loose flower embellishments, and another ribbon. So it's going to be a super fun class. I can hardly wait. I'm taking signups right now. Link is in the description of the video. My other class for February is the collaborative class that I do with Kelly and Dina. This one is the Carrots and Bunnies. We're going to be using the Thanks a Bunch stamp set from Celebration along with the Easter Bunny bundle. Now, the cards aren't necessarily Easter cards. You can make them Easter cards if you want, but we're kind of focusing on them being like spring cards rather than specifically Easter. So some people don't do Easter. I totally get that. This is just a way to have it be a fun, pretty cute spring card. So again, link is in the description for that. I have a few of my Country Bouquet class kits left over. You can get the link to the sign up for that in the description of the video. I have about 5 Adorable Owls classes left. Link below. Pretty pop-ups. I have a lot of these. I have about 9 of these left. I think it's because people just don't understand what the pretty pop-ups dies are. They are fantastic, you guys. When you die cut things, you can see the dimension that the dies put into the paper. It is so cool. And then you can color it, not color it, whatever you want to do. And the class has videos to guide you along on how to make all the cards. Like all of my classes have video tutorials that go with every project. So if you're stuck on a written direction, you're like, I'm not sure exactly what she's saying here. All you have to do is click on the video link and you have a full color video telling you how to make everything. So that's a little perk. I already talked about Stamp Happy Academy. It's amazing. As Bonnie says, it's a gift you give yourself. And it's so true. And then lastly, adhesive kits. You guys know I always sell adhesive kits. They come in these adorable little rainbow bags full of your favorite adhesives, along with the adhesive eraser, the sand eraser, and a ruler. So yay. And then finally, I always have cards for sale. I make so many cards that I cannot use them all. And so over the course of time, I have accumulated quite a few cards. And so I have all occasion greeting cards in packages of 20 ready to go. And you can purchase them via the link in the description of this video or in my PDF and class kit store that I just talked about, barbstamps.com/shop. Okay. So I'm going to put all that stuff away and we are going to start with our first project, which is, I'm actually doing a little bit of a card challenge with you guys here. I have this fun little template for this center step card, and I have a little challenge on my Facebook page. You can get the template on my blog, which there is a link in the description of this video to get you to my blog. You can download the template. It's got the measurements, it's got the scoring and cutting guidelines. And then from there, you can find the link to my Facebook page on Facebook with the details about all I want you to do is just make the card, take a picture of it, put it as a comment on the Facebook group. And at the end of the month, I'm going to draw a winner. And all you have to do is participate. It doesn't matter, maybe your card doesn't get folded up quite the way you wanted it to. That's got nothing to do with who will win the prize. It's all about participation. I am really big into participation with my team when we're doing our mystery stamping. I want them all just to try it and just to have fun. This is kind of the same thing. I just want you guys to do some stamping. And so I want to reward the stamping. So again, this template paper you can download off my blog. Link is in the description to a post I just made this afternoon. And so we are going to be making this card today, and then you can sort of see how I do it. So you'll have a video tutorial as well as a template. So we are going to start out with a piece of Melon Mambo. This is 5.5 by 8.5 as the instructions tell us. 5.5 by, oh my gosh, it says 8. I'm going to have to fix that. Yikes. It's 8.5, people. 8.5. How does this always happen? Although I did say 8.5 over here. So sometimes the struggle is real. Anyway, we are going to take this layer and we are going to put the short end at the top of the trimmer, and we're going to scooch it over to the 1.25 inch mark over here. Okay. We've got the one. The next large mark is the quarter. It actually has another line that goes all the way down the entire thing. So we are going to slide this over to the 1.25 inch mark. And then we are going to cut from the 1 inch line down to the 5.25 inch line. I have the ruler here on the side. So I can, if I do it like this, it might be a little bit easier, even for me. So I'm going to bump that up to the 1.25. There is a little tiny guide right here on the blade. So I'm going to press that in and start at 1. And then I'm going to scooch that down to 5.25, which is right there. I'm going to flip this upside down. I'm going to slide this into the 1.25 inch mark again. I'm going to start at 1. And I'm going to slide down to 5.25. Okay. So I now have 2 cut lines just like that. So now I'm going to put the 2 cut lines are on the left edge here. I'm going to slide this into the 1 inch mark. I'm going to get my cutting blade out of the way, and I'm going to bring my scoring blade in, and I'm going to score from the cut line down, and then I'm going to push the blade. I'm not scoring, I'm just moving it up here to this cut line, and I'm going to press and push up, press and push up. So I only have score lines from the cut line out to the edge. I'm going to do that again at 2 inches. So we've got 2-inch mark here. Again, find that cut line. Okay, and come down. Again, I'm not scoring through the middle. I'm only scoring from the cut line to the outer edges right now. All right, so I've got a 1 inch and a 2 inch. Then I'm going to slide it over to 4 1/4, and this time I'm going to score in the middle between the two cut lines. So you can just look at your cut lines and your little guide on your blade. And, or you can say you're going to score from 4 1/4 up to 1 1/4. All right, here we go. So this is what we have so far. Oh, no, I got one more. So I did that at 4 1/4. Now I'm going to slide it to 5 1/4, and we're going to go from the cut line out again, cut line out. So I'm just finding that cut line, and then I'm just pushing my blade towards the edge. Okay, so we are going to just, it kind of just folds all by itself. It just kind of goes the way you want it to automatically, I find. Then we're going to bring in a bone folder. And we're going to get all of these score lines burnished. Okay, so here your basic card shape is now done. There is your center step card. Very, very simple. Okay, so then we're going to need some pieces to decorate this with. So I've got a piece of white for the inside, and this piece measures 5 3/8 by 3 1/8, and that'll just fit nicely right in there. That's where you can write your message. We also have some designer series paper. We have a strip that is 5 3/8 by 7/8, and so I'm just going to add that to the bottom down here. And then if you can't remember how to design, how to do this, then just come back to this live. It will be here forever, and then you should be able to have no trouble figuring it out. Oops. I need to add some adhesive here. Okay, so we're going to add this to this little section here at the bottom. Oh my gosh, I need to check these comments. I'm so sorry, you guys. This stupid iPad of mine, I thought I was going to have to, sometimes you have to, do updates, and I thought it was updating the YouTube app, but it still isn't doing what I want it to do, so I still can't use my iPad. I'm kind of sad because that's really makes doing live things a lot easier. Okay. Oh, I forgot to tell you, this is the paper from the Enjoy, whatever it's called. Enjoy the Moment. Enjoy the Journey. This is one of the papers you can get for free with your $50 order. So I just cut both of these. I've got these two patterns, or this pattern here, and then this pattern here are the two that I'm using. Okay. So let me get this little guy into its little spot. There it is. And this little guy into its little spot. These two strips of designer series paper, they each measure 1 1/8 by 3 1/8. Okay, just like the directions tell us. All right, then we have a layer of white. This one is 2 1/4 by 2 3/4 by 3. And then I have this little tiny strip of designer series paper that's 1 by 2 3/4. And I wanted to add another little strip. This is like a 1/2 inch strip. I just wanted it for some added color, added interest, if you will. And so I just have a little tiny strip of pumpkin pie, and I'm going to just bump that with my designer series paper, so then I will have just a little more interest on this particular layer. Okay, so let's get that onto our layer here. There we go. And then if you have extra at the back, you can cut that off. Yes, Judy, that is correct. This is the challenge card. And so, I mean, you don't have to make exactly the same card I'm making, but of course the template, the basic design of the fun fold is what we're doing here. So yes. Okay. So we've got that. The conversation bubbles dies, and I took this one here, and this actually cuts out 2 pieces. It'll cut out a little border, which is right here. It's stuck on something. So I have this little border, and then it also cuts out a white piece. And so I've already done a little stamping. I'll kind of show you what I did for that stamping on a scrap of white, just so you can sort of see what I did. So like here is a scrap of white, and I pulled out the, what have I got here? You've Got Something to Celebrate from the Sweet Songbirds stamp set, because that's the set that I want to use, because I want to use the punch. Because you guys can get the punch for free. You can order the stamp set and then some other items and then get the punch for free. Okay, so we have the You've Got Something to Celebrate image. And you notice I have this tiny little cute flower that actually comes out of the Sweet Songbird stamp set. It's got this cute, adorable little tiny flower. What would have been even better would be if you could punch it out, but you can't. So we're just going to use it as it is here at the bottom of our sentiment. There we go. I guess while I have this out, technically I would stamp the little bird, even though I've already got it done here, but we'll go ahead and do it. So here is a scrap of white, and I've got my little songbird here. Now, you guys have known that I've mentioned this tip before. When I have a solid image, I like to use a piece of Scotch tape to get any dust off of this image, because a lot of times, you know, photopolymer stamps they seem to collect dust, at least in my house. Maybe I'm just overly dusty, but I struggle with that a lot. There's a lot of dust in this place. All right, so you can see what a nice image we got there doing that. And of course, we'll bring in the punch, and we will crop her. I'm going to say her because she's pink. Crop her out. There she is. And you can see there's a little wing. We've got the wing here. So we're going to do the same thing with the wing. We're going to put it on our tape. And then, how is the wing on the punch? So I'm going to slide my paper into the punch like that and do this. Okay. There we go. There's the little wing. We don't need any of these little scrap pieces. They're garbage. And so I also have some little eyes that are adorable and a little beak. So the little beak I am going to do in, where's my other ink pad? Oh, never mind, I found it. I'm going to do it in mango. So I'm going to ink up the beak here, and then I can see through my stamp, so I can see where it needs to go, and then I can just stamp it. So there's my little beak there. Okay. And then my eyeballs we're going to do in black. Actually, they're little closed eyes. So this little sweetheart is taking a little bit of a rest. There we go. Oops, making a mess. And then I've got this little wing here that I'm going to add with a dimensional. So I think about like that. So cute. And then I'm going to add it to my card. Got a little adhesive, and I think we're going to set it. I'm not going to press too hard because I might want to put it somewhere else. And then my little die. So I may have to run this through my Baby Boss because I might want to change the way that is. So here is my Boho Blue Baby Boss. Okay. So we've got our plates here. I have my piece of paper. I'm going to grab some Post-it tape here because I do want this to be good. All right, so I think that's how I want it to be. Oh, Carol is so sweet. She says for you guys to give me a thumbs up. That is awesome. Thank you so much. I appreciate that very much, you guys. Okay. Whoops. So, and so we got the piece that we wanted, plus, I'm just going to carefully peel that off. Plus we got this little other piece. Where's my take your pick tool? Now, if I had another color, I would probably keep this, but I'm not going to keep it because it's white, because I like the contrast. So you can see where I ran it through my little layer, and now I have this little label here. So these two things will go together. All right, so let me get some of this stuff out of the way because I've got kind of a mess going on here. Hot mess here. The hot mess express, as some people like to say about some things. I'm going to clean off some of these stamps and get them out of the way because I feel like I need some room is what I need. Okay, and I don't need my trimmer anymore. Get rid of that. Okay. We're done with that. We might need some fun bling. Okay, bring the card back in. So we have our white layer. This one, like I said, was 2 3/4 by 3. So this is 2 7/8 by 3 1/8. And these two are going to layer together really nicely. So I'm going to add some adhesive here. And we'll get that centered on this layer. Cute. Okay. Then what I'm going to do is I am going to add glue to this little guy. Okay. I'm pretty handy with liquid glue. Not everyone is, and that's fine. We do sell something called adhesive sheets for those of you that might not be so skilled with the liquid glue. I've been liquid gluing for a very long time. And the trick to liquid gluing is to use very, very minimal amount. You can see how very minimal I am putting on there. And if you feel like it's too much, just use your finger to kind of rub it around a little bit. It'll just rub right off on your hand. Okay, so let's put our little speech bubble right here on the card. Our speech bubble frame, I guess it is. And then our little speech bubble, I'm just going to add to the center of the frame with a couple of mini dimensionals. Okay. So we'll just set that. So we have a little bit of height there. And then, of course, that's going to go right in the middle. So cute. Okay. There we go. Oh my gosh, that's so adorable. All right, so here's my inside layer. So I can stamp something on here if I wish. And what would I like to stamp on here? I think we have another little tiny bird. I need to grab a block. And I'm going to use the tape here. Whoa. I just dropped my ink pad on the floor. It's fine. Okay. So we'll stamp this little bird here on the inside of the card. I want to add some legs maybe to this. Oh, I didn't use a foam pad. Can I? There. Okay. And I need my eyeballs back. And I think I need my beak. So this bird stands the other direction. This bird faces the other way. And there. And then where's my black? Here's some memento here. Ugh. Couldn't hardly get the lid off. Oh, I could have had this bird with its eyes open, but it's too late. It's too late. I decided not to. I need some feet. And I need another block. Maybe I can use this block here. And I know feet should probably be brown. Oh, wait a minute. Those feet are going to be going the wrong direction. What the heck? Oh, hold on. We got to make sure Bird's walking the right way. I almost had it walking backwards. Okay, I first looked at these two little feet and I thought that they were going the wrong way, but they were not. They are going, in fact, the correct direction. There. So cute. Okay, now we can finish putting all this stuff away. Trying not to make a mess, but it's Barb and it's just inevitable. It's inevitable. The mess is gonna be made. Okay, I'm just trying to get all this stuff out of the way so that I can see what I'm doing. Okay, so we're just about done with the card. I have two more little tiny things to put on here. They come out of the Conversation Bubbles set. There is this tiny little flower, and it has a die. Actually, it has two dies. So I stamp them on white, and I then cut them out. I colored them with my blends and cut them out. So that, we're going to stick those on the front. And I got to get this piece of tape off my finger. It's really hindering my ability to work. So it's got to go. There. I don't know why I kept saving it. And then this is our inside layer. So we'll just get that lined up. Oh my, look at that. I have what is known as an oopsie here. So I'm going to use an ink eraser and try to, at least if I can't get rid of it completely, I can make it less noticeable. And if I was paying attention when I first put this in, I would have seen it and I could have just cut the edge off, but I didn't. So, but that's pretty good. It's not nearly as bad as it was. Okay, now my little flowers. So I'm going to add some liquid glue to the backs here of these little flowers, and I'm going to stick them right down here. Oh, aren't they cute? I do too, Cynthia. Cynthia says she's happy to see some of these little smaller elements being used. And I do the same thing. I am guilty of not always using some of these fun little things too. But man, look how cute that is. There it is, you guys. So this is my challenge card for the month of February. So go to my blog, barbstamps.com. It's the first post on the blog. Otherwise, if you're watching this later on in the month, the link to the blog post is in the description of this video. Go to my blog, download the file. I'm going to change it. It should say 5.5 by 8.5, but it does say 5.5 by 8.5 over here. Okay, so I'll change it and re-upload it, but it's over here too. And then make a card using this layout and post it on my Facebook group, my Facebook page. I have a link to that on the blog. So go to the blog, get the template, go to my Facebook page, take a picture of your card and load it as a comment. Okay? Simple, simple. Only thing that counts, participation, is the only thing. That will be how I determine who wins. I'm just going to put everybody's name in a bucket, and then I'm just going to draw somebody out, and I've got a fun little prize to send. Now, you know, I have some gems here, but honestly, I feel like there's a lot going on here, and I just don't think I'm going to put anything else on here. I feel like there's plenty. And this is the perfect height to go into one of our envelopes. It is 4 1/4 by 5.5, so it fits right into our envelopes as well. So I hope you guys liked that. I look forward to seeing all of your cards in the challenge. I hope it's fun for you. It's going to be fun for me, seeing everything that you guys do, because I know that you guys are some amazing stampers. So there you go. Okay. Next is a project to help you use up some of your designer series paper that you're hoarding, because I am a hoarder too. We're all hoarders. We all have too much designer series paper. There's just too much. It just is what it is. We all can't use up all of our paper, but we can try. So I went ahead and pulled out this beautiful paper. Oh my heavens. I knew that was going to happen one of these days. I'd whack the camera and then it would get all out of whack. Ugh. Anyway, it's called the Favored Flowers. You probably know that. It's a free celebration item. Polly, anybody can do it. Anybody can participate. No, it's not just for my team. I highly encourage my team members to do it. But yeah, anybody can do it. I would love to see what you make. Okay, so we're going to use the favorite flowers, and we're going to make kind of a fun card. It's a different kind of card, and you could make lots of different ones. Oh, Cynthia, you have till the end of the month. February 28th is when I'm going to do the drawing. So plenty of time, literally an entire month. So the 28th of February, I will check the blog or check the Facebook page, see everybody who's participated, add them all or put them all in a bucket, and then give away. Then I'll draw somebody. I'm not even sure what day of the week the 28th is. Let me think. The 7th is Tuesday, so it must be a week or 3 weeks from Tuesday. Is that right? Well, tell me if I'm wrong. I think it's a Tuesday. Anyway, so that means on Thursday during my live, then I will announce the winner. So I'll draw the winner on the 28th. That's when it closes, and I'll announce the winner on, I guess that would be February or March 2nd. Okay. So we're using the favorite flowers paper. We have some pieces here. So I have a quarter piece of cardstock. This is 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. And then I have a 4 by 5 1/4 inch piece of black. This is fresh freesia. I have a 3 3/4 inch by 5 layer of this pattern of the designer series paper. And then I have a little piece here. This is 2 3/4 by 8. I have 2 pieces of white. These are both 2 3/8 by what? Or 2 5/8 by 3 7/8. I got one for the outside, one for the inside. And then I have 2 pieces of designer series paper that both measure 3 by 3 3/4. And then I have a little tiny strip here that is a 3/4 by 2 3/4. So we are going to start with our pieces of designer series paper and a trimmer. So put your 2 pieces of designer series paper on the trimmer. Put the pattern that you want to show up. So I want this pattern to be showing on my card, so I have it face up. I have the short edge towards the top of my trimmer with both pieces. My first piece, I am going to kind of turn to the left so that these 2 points are straight up and down. My second piece, I'm going to turn to the right. Okay, so this one's turned to the left, this one's turned to the right. They were both like this. That goes to the left, that goes to the right. I'm going to slide this into my trimmer, putting the points in the track. So I'm just going to finagle my way around there. And then I'm going to cut that in half. So I now have to cut 2 pieces. Put those aside. This is my other one. I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to slide it into my trimmer. I'm going to put the points in the track. I'm going to close the lid and cut. So I have 2 from this piece, 2 from this piece. We're going to swap. Okay, so now I can make 2 different cards using this same paper. And I guess if you want to use that side, you could. Okay, so here we go. We've got the 1 here, and I am going to start out by, what do I want to do? Well, I think what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to decorate these pieces before I go any further, because I need this whole little piece to be complete before I put everything together. Okay. Judy says I'm a good splainer. I love that word. Oh, that's funny. Where is my memento pad with my... Normally I have a memento pad that has a little bunch of... Oh, here it is. Post-it notes in there so that it prevents me from breaking the pad. So this is a little stamp, actually it's a large stamp, out of something called Decorative Borders. A lot of fun borders if you're a demonstrator. This is a stamp set that we got for free at the on-stage event that was held back in November. And I pulled it out today to stamp on this project. All right, so I am going to kind of stamp it about like so. There we go. Let that dry for just a second. Now on this piece, I am first of all going to add my little piece of designer series paper. Whoops. How do I always get ink on my hands? It's so annoying. Okay, hold on. I need a silicone mat now because I just put a bunch of adhesive on that. We're going to try that again. I'm trying to get my fingers cleaned off. Okay, so we're trying this again. So I'm going to put this little strip of designer series paper. This is actually going to be the top of the inside layer, and there's kind of a funny story about this. When I did the sample of the card earlier, I I was going to stick it on the inside of the card, and I had it at the wrong end, so I had it at the top, and I was like, wow, that actually looks pretty good. So we're going to leave it. So I'm going to leave this on the silicone mat because I have glue on the back of it. There's another stamp in this set, this little diamond kind of border stamp, and we're going to use that. Almost lost my pad. So I'm going to tap this into my memento, and I'm going to stamp it right underneath my designer series paper. Now, I may have to move it down a little bit so that I can see what I'm doing. I mean, I want you guys to be able to see, but since I'm the stamper, I need to really be able to see. Isn't that like kind of cool? Check that out. I thought it was kind of cool. Okay, so we're going to get this out of here. And then we can add another piece or another strip of adhesive. And then we can add this to this inside of this little flap thing. So this is going to be kind of our sentiment or our message piece. So this is something you would send to somebody that you don't have a whole lot to say, because it's a very small place to say something. Okay. On this one, we're going to do a tiny bit more stamping. We are going to grab a sentiment out of the Charming Sentiment set that says thank you. I don't know about you guys, but thank you cards are the card type that I use the most. And so that's why I typically do thank you cards. And I'm going to stamp this. This is from Charming Sentiments. I think I said that. I am inking it up in Blackberry Bliss. And there we go. Okay, I also have another little piece right here out of that same Decorative Borders stamp set. And we are going to be using the Mossy Meadow for this little one. And just going to kind of tap that into the Mossy Meadow. And I'm going to stamp it twice. One above my thank you. And then one below. I just thought this was kind of an interesting way to use this little stamp. How cute is that? Just like Cynthia was saying, sometimes they give us these cute little images, but we don't really always know exactly what to do with them. So, okay, so this I need to color in with my blends. So I've got some Mossy Meadow and a Blackberry Bliss. I'm going to use the light of both of them to start out with. So I'm going to color this flower. Actually, I'm going to color all of the flowers. And again, my apologies, you guys, about sometimes I'm not seeing your comments because my silly iPad has decided it does not want to work. So, and it's a lot more difficult to see the comments on my phone than it is to see them on the iPad. So I apologize. If you ask me something and I don't answer you, please feel free to ask it again. I have no problem with that whatsoever. I won't think you're being annoying. I'll chalk it up to me having technical difficulties, which I'm the one who's annoying. Okay, those might not be flowers. I don't know, but I felt like it needed to be colored Blackberry Bliss. And then we're going to do the light mossy on the leaves. So let's get all the leaves done here. Sometimes I feel like coloring is boring for the watcher, but maybe I mean, I don't mind watching people color. I don't know as though I'd want to watch somebody color, something very large that would take, a very long time. But sometimes watching people color is it's kind of soothing. All right, we are just about done here with our light blends, and then we're going to bring in the darks of each color just for some quick highlights or low lights, I guess, and I'm just adding my dark onto the lines that were already created by the stamp. So I'm not doing anything exciting, but yet hopefully this will add just a tiny bit of interest, to the flowers and the leaves here. And it looks really dark when you first do it, but then it kind of lightens up a lot, as you'll notice. Let me bring this back in. This little flower, so I colored it with the light Melon Mambo, and then I brought in the dark and just kind of did a little highlight, little accent piece right down there. Oh my gosh, you guys are helping people. Thank you, thank you, thank you so much. Okay. All right, I think we're good. Okay, so that's done. So now we're going to add that to the front of our little piece here. And use some seal, and I'm actually going to add a little on each side here. And then we're going to get this. Okay. Thank you again, you guys that are answering questions for me. That's extremely helpful. Thank you. Okay. So I'm going to press that down. So this is our little inside hello, you write your little message in there. That is just the coolest stamp. I really think that's cool. Okay, I digress. All right. So now we are going to add our pieces of the diagonal pieces that we cut. But I want this to be on the card. So because it's a fairly thick little piece, and I want to make sure that when I put my two pieces on here, that's taking up the space that it needs to, so that these will kind of like go over the top of them. I never explained that right. I've got to figure out a way to explain that. But because these are going over the top of that, if I put them on without this, it would make it extremely difficult to slide that in and out. So if I put them on with that already in place, then it's just going to make that easier. I hope that makes sense. All right, so I'm going to use liquid glue, and I'm going to put it on the straight edges. So not the diagonal, just on the straight edges. I'm trying not to put a ton of glue on there, but I did get a little more than I maybe would have liked. And again, you don't want to have it too far in, because you don't want it to hit your little sentiment piece here. Okay, so we're going to set that down. And then we're going to add this to the bottom and to the side. Okay, like this. And I guess we could just have, you could just do it like this. You wouldn't have to put the other one on there. Okay, and then we're going to add this one, doing the same thing. Adding them to the straight sides. There we go. And again, there we go. Okay. And we'll put this one at the bottom and over to the edge again. So you can kind of see what I mean, where I am putting this in and then putting these pieces on, because you want to make sure that you can get that out, in and out, fairly easily. It's going to be a little bit tight just because it's so thick, but it should be good. Okay, so now we have that done. We can add it to this layer here. So I'm just going to add a little bit of liquid glue. And, oh, this might need to be adjusted as far as the cutting. So I'm going to stick this on at the top and the two sides, and then I'm going to adjust the bottom. Looks like I cut this piece just a tiny bit too long. So we'll bring a trimmer back in here And see if we can slice off that little edge. That looks better. Okay, and then our final card base piece here. We'll do the same thing. We'll add the glue. So we got rid of a pretty big chunk of designer series paper making this. And then we have those 2 pieces left over. So we can make another card. And I did. And I'll bring that out here in just a second after we totally finish this. So we have our little pocket. We have our fun little insert and then we have our pocket has been created so that our card will slide in and out nicely. All right, now I do have some white ribbon, and I think I'm going to tie a little bow, and we're going to put it right down in the kind of like the V where the 2 papers come together. Okay. Make sure we get that. Snip off the ends here. Okay, bring in a glue dot, because glue dots are the best for ribbons. And you are so welcome, Cynthia. Case away. I'm glad you liked it enough to want to copy it. All right, so we've got our little glue dot right down here where the 2 kind of pieces come together. There we go. I feel like this side is maybe a little long. Still a little long. Come on, you. Get off there. There we go. Okay. And then I do have some gems, but I don't know where I would actually put them, because now that I'm looking at this and thinking about it, I don't want to put any gems around here because, you know, the in and out motion of the little piece could potentially knock the gems off. If I try to put gems maybe on these 2 little, they're going to not stay. So I think the bow is all I'm going to do. I don't need any extra. I don't need anything else. Okay, so here is another one, you guys. Look at that. Same paper. Ooh, some wink. Bonnie, you may have something there. Let me pull my wink out and see what I think. Sometimes when I wink it can make your flowers, you know, maybe we could put the wink on the designer series paper flowers. That might actually work, because then it won't make, this shouldn't bleed, I wouldn't think. So I'm just kind of smearing some wink here on all of these. I should have done it before I put my bow on. But I think that's okay. So we do have a little bit of shimmer now. Good idea, Bonnie. Just a little bit, and then it didn't bleed at all. So that's really nice. Perfect. Okay. And then I can do that on this other one too. But here's my second card. I used the same pieces, you know, because I said you could make another card. And then I just chose a different pattern of designer series paper out of the package. And I did the exact same thing. I just mounted it on Blackberry Bliss rather than Mossy Meadow for this in here. Same inside. My layers black, but Mossy Meadow. And yeah, so 2 cards, but they're the same, but they're just beautiful, you guys. And I really like how this stamp set, this decorative borders, kind of works really well with the flowers. I don't think it looks odd at all. I think it looks good. So yay. Okay. Well, thanks, you guys. I'm glad you liked that. All right, let me put this stuff away and we'll get out the stuff for our next project. I'm going to quickly clean off my stamps, because if I don't and I stick them back in my bucket, then they're going to get ink all over everything. And I don't want that. I don't want ink all over everything. Oh, Tony, you're so sweet. Tony has shared my video. If you guys find the little share button and you are so obliged, I would love for you to share it. That would just get more people to see us, and then more people might want to participate in the challenge. Okay. Here we go, our final card. This card is going to use the 2-tone Flora stamp set, our masking paper, and then our alphabet a la mode dies. and we're going to make a fun card. At least I think it's fun. Let me get my pieces and parts out here. I'm going to hide some because I don't want you to see it before we're done. Okay, so we've got a black card base. So it's 8.5 by 5.5. I've got a layer for the inside that's 4 by 5.25. I've got 2 pieces of white because I'm hoping I'm not going to screw up because I have 2. If I only had 1, I probably would make a mistake. But since I have 2, possibilities might be a little better that I don't screw it up. Anyway, these are 3 1/4 by 4.5. Is that right? I better measure it because now I don't remember. 3 1/4. 4.5. I was correct. And then this is 3 3/8 by 4 5/8. Okay, so these two are going to layer together on the outside. That's going to go on the inside of our layer. So the first thing we need to do is to stamp on this piece here. So I'm going to bring in a foam mat because we're working with photopolymer stamps and a scratch paper. And my scratch papers are these little grid papers that were designed for our Stamparatus, but they are amazing for little small grid papers. I don't even use our large grid paper anymore. I always use this. Okay, so the stamps that I'm going to use are, I'm going to use the 2 largest, the 2 next size, and then I think the 2 smallest. Or did I use these? Actually, I think I used these, and these. Okay, so I've used these 6 and then the leaf. And so then what I did was I knew I was going to be layering these together or next to each other. So I did go ahead and stamp all of the bold images onto the masking paper, and then I cut them out, and then here they are. So I've got each flower, the 3 flowers that I'm using, and the leaf. And I just went ahead, and when you get our stamps, our photopolymer stamps, they are housed between a thick piece of plastic and a thin piece of plastic. Most of the time I throw this thicker piece away. But I do have a few that I've saved. And so this worked out really well. I just taped it to the inside of my case, and that way, then when I have my little masks in here, they're protected. So they're not going to flop around. They're not going to get caught on anything inside the case. I'm not going to ruin them. So that might be a helpful little tip for you guys. Okay. We have die cut all of the letters to spell hello out of black cardstock using the Alphabet a la Mode die set. So I've got those. Okay. Keep those to the side. Now I'm going to get all my stamps, and let me get them sort of situated here because they need to go with each other. Okay, those 2 are good, and the big ones, and then the smaller ones. Okay, so I'm going to be using Pacific Point and Balmy Blue for my flowers. I feel like I'm going to need more room here, but maybe you guys can see well enough. Try to put my masks up here, and maybe my stamps on the side. Maybe we'll try this. We'll see how this works out. Okay. And then I have the Balmy Blue also, so I'll stick that over here. All right, so I'm going to start out by just stamping a large image in the Pacific Point, like in the center-ish of this piece. Okay, easy enough. Then I'm going to take the piece that goes over it, and again, it's a bold stamp. I'm going to use my Scotch tape to kind of pick off any dust that might be on there. I'm going to ink it up in my Balmy Blue, and I'm going to stamp it off once, and then I'm going to come over the top of this. And what I'm doing is I'm lining up the center. There is this little, is that like a stamen or something? I'm not a botanist. Whatever that little thing in the middle is, that's kind of what I'm using to line this up with. Okay, so there's that. Now I'm going to stamp flowers on both sides of this. So I'm going to mask this off. So, and when I cut my masks out, I cut them a little smaller than the actual flower, so that when I come in here to do my overstamping, I actually can get overstamped pretty well. All right, so I'm going to put this a little bit off at the bottom. You can sort of see that I did go off at the bottom there. And I'm going to do that. Wait a second. Hold on, I need to add some leaves first. or at least on this one side. So I'm going to use the leaf and I'm going to stamp it like right there. Okay, and then this is mint that I used for my leaf, and I'm going to cover that up also. Okay. Okay, back to my stamping. So here, this is the medium flower, and I'm going to come over here, and we're going to stamp this like that. All right, so then we're going to bring the thick, our bold medium stamp in here. I'm going to do what I do, try to get the dust off, and I'm going to ink it up in the balmy. I'm going to stamp it off, and then I'm going to use that little centerpiece again. This is a different flower, but the little centerpiece seems to work really well to line these things up. Okay, there we go. Fun. Okay, so then I am going to take my smaller leaf, which is this one here, my smaller flower, and I'm going to cover up this one also. So I've got both of these covered up. Okay, and I'm going to stamp a smaller flower right there. Bring in the bold piece of the smaller flower. Ink it up. Again, using that little tiny piece in the middle. And we should be able to stamp that right down. Okay, I'm going to bring in my mint, and I'm going to stamp right next to that. Okay, so I'm going to move my masks out of the way here now. So there's the removal of a mask. Here's the removal of a mask. Here's the removal of a mask. Look what we have. We have a nice little grouping of flowers there. Maybe not such a great job on this side, but I am going to go ahead and I think I'm going to put the medium mask on this piece here. Okay, and then this is the large one, so I'm going to put the large one on also. And I think I might cover, I should have left these on. And I think I'm going to put the leaf back on, just because I don't want it to get covered up. So I'm going to use my smallest flower again, and I'm going to kind of stamp it in the middle here a little bit, in between those two. Whoa, that just got ink all over it. Hold on, I need to clean this off. Where's my chamois? I got ink all over my block because I just dropped it right onto my pad. Okay, so hopefully this will take up some of the spacing that we're missing here. And then how about if we give it a leaf like so? All right, now let's see what we've got. Peel off all the masks. Loretta, I don't really know what this is. I guess it's just called masking. I've just created masks from the flowers. So I stamped the flowers onto the masking paper and then I cut them out. So it's kind of like a Post-it note paper. It's got a low tack on it. And so I'm just stamping and then I'm masking the flowers so that I can actually get them to look like they're like behind each other. You know what I'm saying? Rather than if I actually stamped them right on top of each other. Like, let me show you what that would look like. Let me grab a piece of paper here. So if I didn't do the masking and I did this medium flower here, and then I did the large flower over the top of it, you can see that I've actually gone over the top of it. And then if I come back in with the bold pieces, I didn't line that up very well, but I think you'll get the gist when I stamp this next one, how different it looks when you do the masking as not doing masking. So you can sort of see, so you've got this overlap in here. It's a little bit darker. It just doesn't look as clean and as crisp as it does when you don't, I feel. Okay, so that's what we're doing. We're just masking. And I'm going to add another little leaf right here just because I need some more green on the end. And I think I'm going to add one right here too. There. Okay, so the masking I feel like is done. So I'm going to move all that out of the way. I'm going to clean off the stamps really quickly just because, you know, it could be a problem. Okay. Hopefully this doesn't take too long. Okay. And then I'm going to close up my ink because I've already done this on the inside layer of my card. So let me bring my layers back in. So here is my inside. There it is. Oh gosh, somebody's asked when you cut the mask. Oh, I did use the largest stamp. Whenever I do my masking, I always, if it's a double like this, and you don't always use double stamps, but if you do have a double stamp, always use the biggest one, which is typically the bold image. Okay, so this was my inside piece. I already did that, as you can see, so that's going to go on the inside. My outside piece right here is going to go onto our blue layer, but we are going to add the letters. We're going to spell out the hello. I'm going to bring in my mad gluing skills, hopefully. But first of all, I am going to draw a tiny, very, hopefully, thin line with my inappropriate pencils. I gotta find one that's not super inappropriate. So this is my inappropriate pencil. I do have it linked in the description below. I'm not gonna say it, but you might be able to see what it says. Maybe. There it is. It's just kind of for fun. So I'm gonna put a little light pencil line on here so that I can line up my letters. And hope that I can see my pencil line and then that I can erase it when I'm done. Okay. So I have a very light, well, it's more than light. It's a pencil line, but you'll see what I'm saying. So I'm going to start with my O because I'm going to spell it backwards because I want the O to be on the end over there. So I'm going to do some liquid gluing. And again, if you don't like to liquid glue and you're not that good at it, this is definitely a good place to bring in adhesive sheets. Seriously. Okay. So we are going to have, I got a little blob of glue in there I want to get rid of. I'm going to lay this edge or the bottom of my O right there on my line and then try to, that's good. Okay, so it's Hello. So we're going to put an L next. And I am just using the tiniest bit of glue. And even that, you can see that I'm using my finger to bump it off. Okay, so again, I'm going to put the L right there on my pencil line. There we go. And we have another L. In my mind, I'm sitting here thinking, am I spelling this right? Yes, I am. Okay. Get some of that off. And we'll come down here again to our pencil line, putting the L right there at the edge of the line and just going straight up. Hopefully this is going to make this straight. I don't know. It might not. And we'll do the E now. Okay. Again, using the pencil line, trying to have the spacing between each letter be about the same. If we can. I think that might actually work. Okay, and then we have the H. So we'll add a little glue here to the H. And if you guys are joining us late, I did have a little announcement at the beginning. I have opened up my class kit PDF file store on my blog. Finally, I had my blog redone in, I think it was October. And that's been a little bit of a process just in and of itself. And then I finally got my store working here this weekend, and I'm pretty excited about that. So a lot of my PDFs, I still have more to add, but I put a lot of the current ones in there. So if you guys are interested in some online classes, it's a great place to go. They're on sale right now through February 11th. That's kind of like a store kickoff. And so you'll find some great deals there. I am using WordPress for my blogging platform. And then I just installed WooCommerce. Or I guess I didn't do it. The guy that's doing the work for me did it. That's not in my wheelhouse by any stretch of the word to be able to do any of that myself. So I did pay someone to do it. It was kind of expensive, but not as expensive as I had anticipated. So that was good. Okay. And the files are ready to be downloaded immediately after you purchase them. They are in your account. You can access them forever. It's just, I'm so happy. I'm just so happy. Okay. I'm going to add this to WooCommerce, Judy. WooCommerce. Yep. WOOCOMMERCE is the, I don't know what's a plugin. I think he called it. I don't know. That's all I really know. And then he taught me how to use it, how to utilize the features on it and to populate the store. So I'm pretty excited. Okay. So is that straight? Sometimes, oh gosh, my eyeballs are the literal worst. I don't think that's straight. I feel like it's off. Ugh. So I need to come back in here and try this again. So I'm going to add a little bit of adhesive to each one of these that I just cut. And I feel like I was just slightly off, just enough to be annoyed with myself. Okay. Oh, Connie likes my colors. Thanks, Connie. I thought they were pretty cool too. I was really happy. Balmy Blue and Pacific Point. Get you some, as they say. Okay, and then we're going to put this to the inside. And then I just have a tiny little bow that I'm going to add on the outside. And then I think I might bring in some just rhinestones. The standby. The old standby. Okay, so I've already tied this bow, but I did use the brand new white and blue variegated ribbon. This is actually in my Playing in the Rain class this month. It's really cool. And it's just a little bit of blue, a little bit of white. And I think I'm just going to kind of add that maybe like right there. And then I'll put sprinkle some rhinestones up there. I think we'll see, unless I change my mind and I move it to maybe right here. So it's above. Ugh, maybe I don't even want that on there. Maybe that just ruins the whole thing. If I move that out. Do you guys? Oh, the ribbon. Okay, Judy says she likes the ribbon. Does anybody else like the ribbon? Not like the ribbon? Yes, no. I kind of thought it looked kind of fun. I've covered up all of my beautiful work, though, on my flowers is the problem that I'm running into. All right. Kim says no, Bo. Julie says no. La, 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 la. And yes, Wendy, that's my... Terry also says no. All right, we're getting rid of the bow. But I think we need some rhinestones. I think you guys will agree with me that some rhinestones are necessary. I hope. I just feel like some rhinestones are just gonna, we just got to add some bling here. Okay, how about that? There. Yay. And I feel like you can have flowers be any color you want. If you want them to be purple, they can be purple. If you want them to be yellow, they can be yellow. If you want them to be brown, they can be brown. I don't think it matters. Okay, so let's go ahead and bring in everything we did today. So we have that. And then we have our fun duo cards here with the cutting paper technique, I guess. And then we have our challenge card. If you guys didn't hear about the challenge, there's a link in the description of this video that will take you to my blog where you will find information about the challenge, and you will find a template to download that will help you in creating this type of a card, this stair-step card. So then you would go to my Facebook page from my blog and load your card as a comment to the post there talking about this. And then on February 28th, I am going to draw a winner from the participants only. That's the only requirement, is that you participate. And then I've got a prize that I'm going to send out. I can only send it to the US, so I encourage all of you global people to please participate. I just can't send you a prize. Actually, I could probably give you an online class. So if you don't live in the US, I'll give you an online class PDF file. Oh, Cynthia, thank you so much. Cynthia just gave me a tip, you guys. That's awesome. I appreciate that so much. So anyways, you guys, go and find this and make a card and share it with me. I can hardly wait. All right, I am going to go make some dinner for me and my son, and I will see you guys next week. Have a fantastic week, you guys. Bye-bye.